Good afternoon, guys. Right, have well, is it the single most impressive saw from the 1980s from Stihl? I guess that's a matter of opinion. Had loads of messages about the Stihl 076, so apologies, I would have tried to have got back earlier. I've been manic with my computer work, and so been leaving early and getting home late. So I'm just back now, and so I have a chance to show the girl starting, tell you a bit about her, and I'm under a promise to cut a couple of seats for my girl. So we've got some 22-inch wood, which I'm just going to face this one off, and if I've got time I might face off this piece as well, which we're going to put a small tabletop on. So then, the 076. Oh, hello. I just put fuel in. You've got to remember to do the cap up. The 076 then, from Stihl, from 1980, and fantastic history. This is a follow-on from the early development of this saw. Would have been from 1968, the Spectacular 50, very rare. That girl is close to brand new as I've ever seen one, and 52mm piston, 42mm stroke, nominal 89 cc's, fantastic. Then a few years later, a couple of design tweaks, and they moved to the 051. Again, I love this model of saw, absolutely superb. They look almost identical, and then when you actually get up close to them, it's not just the paint change on the top cover. You'll notice on some of the later Stihls they're more of an orange colour, and on the earlier Stihls they'll be like a blood red colour. The addition of the knuckle guard, the addition of loads of things. That we should do a separate walkover for that. Same footprint though in terms of cylinder displacement, 5242, 89 cc's, and then comes this girl, 58mm piston, 42mm stroke, 111 cc's. So at the top behind me is the Contra, the kind of, well, Stihl's first direct drive chainsaw from 58, 58mm and a 40mm stroke. So this girl has another 5 cc's capacity, apparently make up to a 7 horsepower, and AVE, so anti-vibe round, electronic ignition. Now then, let's make sure the stop switch is off. Compression wise, so I'm a pretty strong guy. Compression is arm wrenching and spectacular, and AV mounts around this saw are superb. Handle wrap is undamaged, and points to note then of any particular damage. Well, not much. There is a tiny crack in the exhaust cover in this little lug. That's probably the weakest part on the saw. In fact, the exhaust covers on the 50, the 51, and on the 76, undoubtedly. So little crack on the top cover there. She has unusual placement as well on the pull start housing. There's a couple of tiny little fins missing there, and not damaged as such, but where the base of the AV mount is at the front, there's normally a little piece of aluminium across, and that's got worn away through time. So she's a circa 40 years old. Decompression valve, manual oiler at the front, adjustable oiler from the side, which is really excellent. Okay, So she's currently fitted with a period Duramatic bar, which is 25 inch, fitted with a brand new Stihl semi-chisel chain, period chain, 404 pitch, and has been cut with, by me, it's twice, I think. If I said 3 times, I'd be exaggerating, so I think she's had maybe 10 minutes. And other than that, this is just on display. Let me show you how she runs. I'll start her without throttle lock, just because she's aggressive and tries to hurt me every time I start her. Go! So, thumper, rock steady idle, instant up to top RPM, instantly back down again, and when I undid the, 2 other people asked, and I did beforehand, is I put down and off the manifold for the air intake, had a look through, the piston is really clean. To try to get the exhaust off is more of a job, because it necessitates the removal of the entire rear handle, which bolts to the underside and all the way around the engine. But compression is spectacular and the running is flawless. Right guys, let me show you how this girl cuts. So we've got some 22 inch and we're going to square her off for a nice seat. We're going to try and square her off for a nice seat. Okay. Aye. Okay, other things then. When she was last looked at, as a matter of course, actually, there's another subject as well. I'm about to switch over to aspen fuel, I think, as well. Just because of the way that this current fuel is deteriorating engine rubber components. But so she had a carburetor service just recently, had new vac line, new fuel line, new fuel filter, etc., new spark plug. Okay, new pull cord rebuild, and so, are they absolutely just the most spectacular saws ever? They're just amazing saws to to cut with. God, look at this gorgeous texture in this wood. That's beautiful. Yeah, so there we go. So that's fitted with a 25-inch bar, and a dear old person I know is running one with a 36, incredibly, and you can see that they're just effortless and so progressive. And I'm just a home user and amateur cutter in that regard, and it's just sublime to use. And you think this is obviously very, very different makeup to something like the Danon 110 or even like the Pioneer 650s that I run. It's heavier, there's more weight in the crank, it has, I don't know what the torque figures are, if they even produce them for these engines, but the torque is vast. It definitely carries more power in the cut at the RPM than the Danon 110s, which I love, and the 125s. It's just a sublime tool for cutting with. I'll show you on a restart. Kill switch. What a monster. But keeps hurting my hands. And that's the other test you can do for these engines, is if you want to know the strength of the electronic ignition on some of the early Stihl saws, in fact on any of the earlier saws when they put AV on, some require, I think the stats are for most of the CDI units, between 1500 and 1800 RPM to get a decent spark. This unit will spark literally on the hand rotation. As I pull it, she'll spark every time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That's my beautiful. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Fantastic. There's the beautiful 076 AVE. So anti-vibe, electronic, non-chain brake, although you can actually fit chain brakes to them just by changing the side cover. Full AV, double felling spikes, fully adjustable chain oiler, which works really, really well. And interestingly, one of the additions that they made when they did the chain oilers, for instance, was on the side cover they now have this little triangular shape in the casting, and that prohibits you now from switching the chain oiler fully off, whereas on the 50 you could switch the oiler off to nothing, and obviously presumably not good for the oil pump to be spinning but not actually pushing any oil through. So Stihl rectified that by putting this triangular shaped casting into the side cover, so that then you can reduce the oil flow to about half. Spectacular. Stay safe guys. Bye for now.